What's happening, everybody? All six of you here at the Down and Out.
That's two more than last time.
I know, right? Superior Fandom. We are at the D&O again at 2 o'clock every week. It's Nate and Joe show. I'm Nate. It's my partner, Joe.
Hi.
And Mr. Mike Gong is helping out on the boards over here.
What's up, dudes?
Yeah, he's my life partner. Well, we fight like we're life partners. We got a lot to talk about today. Before we get started, the Cino tequila deal is in full effect. $4 shots of Cino for everybody at the bar. $4 shots of Cino tequila, $6
If you're not hammered by the time we're done doing this, you're doing it wrong.
You're not doing your job correctly. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot happened over the week in sports.
We have a little bit.
Well, we have a little bit of a lot to talk about. A lot of a little bit. We're going to start with, what did we say we're going to start with?
Want to talk about Josh Shaw?
Yeah, let's talk about Josh Shaw. This kid from USC claims that he sprained his ankle and jumping off a second-story balcony to save his 7-year-old nephew. That you say he was here in L.A. Robbing a loft?
There's been a couple stories that have been reported on this. Nobody really seems to know what's true. Originally, when this was first reported, or the lies at least were first reported yesterday, it came out on the Twitter. The report was that originally that he was in Palmdale running from a domestic dispute. And then it then came out that he was what? What did he say?
He said allegedly. This is all alleged. Oh. We know. It's all
okay,
alleged.
way to fucking throw me off. But the first story was simply that he was running from a domestic dispute. Then it came out earlier today that he was actually here in downtown robbing an apartment, and nobody really knows what he did. And Steve Sarkisian and USC kind of like backed off their initial stance of like calling him a hero, saying that they got calls of contradiction, and now basically they've taken a stance of we've given everything to what they're calling off-campus authorities, and they're basically.
But they're still Sarkisian's still backing him. Sarkisian's still saying, "I believe him that his 7-year-old nephew was drowning and he was trying to be a hero." It's just it. I want to know who told him to tell this lie. Like where did he come up? Alleged lie. I apologize. Who, if this is a fabricated story, who possibly told him, hey, use your 7-year-old nephew? That's a good out.
The smartest dad in the world.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Kids are always good for an out.
My thing is this: you're 22. This kid's not. A freshman in college. This kid's a senior. He's the captain of the football team. Your season starts in 8 days. You're going to be contending for a championship going into your senior year of school. Like, whatever the fuck you were or weren't doing, like, be ready to go to school, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. Like, I don't know who was right. I don't know who was wrong. I don't know who contrived what.
Well, he's going to have to make sure he gets that diploma now because...
Go to school. Like,
yeah.
It's really that simple. I don't know, man. Well, what do you got on this? Anything good?
I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling to me, that this whole... I mean, this whole thing. And if it is a fabricated story, first and foremost, shame on him for whatever he was doing... besides this, hurt himself, and then comes up with this alleged story. it just doesn't. I don't know. It's laughable to me. It's extremely fucking laughable because, well, yeah, we're in downtown LA. There goes
They're gonna get him.
They're gonna get him. I don't know. It's incredible, and I do actually just kind of love that it's USC yet again. It's a athlete making that entire program look like a Division III school that can't keep their kids in line.
The thing that bothers me about how SC handled this was just, regardless of what did or didn't happen, I don't think you can. I mean, when it was reported that he saved his nephew or whatever it was, they were all over that shit, and that was all over the internet, quick style this weekend. It was, and they really, really pushed it. And my thing is this: when you're responsible for student athletes and you know the well-being of young individuals, you know, and you're their institution, you should really, good or bad, like your first instinct has to be to protect him. And what they did, what they did, even though it was with good intentions in mind because they didn't know that there was any chance of fabrication, what they did was they threw him to the fucking fire immediately. And I just, like, I don't think you can't put a kid like this.
Well, if you're this kid and you're gonna come up with a story, true or false, that you are making yourself a hero and you're saving lives, of course the media, especially if you're an athlete that is presumed going to go to the NFL, that you're playing one of the biggest schools in college as far as the athletics goes, and of course the media is going to be all over it. They're going to dive into it and be like, whoa, you know.
No,
I'd be amazed if they don't track this kid down and interview him, you know, and interview this 7-year-old kid.
No, but that's exactly. I mean, now obviously that'll happen to figure out what the fuck really went down that day. But my thing is, that's the point. Like, the media is going to be all over Josh Shaw. Josh Shaw is going to be, you know, a media target for the next little bit. And what I'm trying to say is it's SC's responsibility to kind of stop that. You know what I mean? To kind of get in front of that. If you want to make
there's no get in front of that.
But
Joe.
hold on a second. If you want to make a guy a hero and do it proper, and like let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that all this is right and he jumped in a pool and he saved his nephew or what have you.
Yeah.
Like live in a vacuum cleaner with that for a second. If that happened, you don't set that up where it's a bunch of one-off Twitter interviews, do it like that. You wait until SC goes out, like before the game Saturday or whenever they can call college game day or whatever. You set up a legit interview with Kirk Herbstreit or Lee Corso or one of those guys or any one of the real legit media, and you put a nice little wrapper on it, if you will. You package it as a good interview, and you set your guy up to be a hero. You don't throw him to the wolves with a bunch of willy-nilly shit on the internet, especially if you can't verify with 100% certainty what happened. So instead of protecting him, they literally went and threw him to the wolves.
Joe, I think he came out and said this without the consent before going to the school.
Right, then
like, it's on him. That's not on the school.
The school needs to do a better job of protecting their student athletes.
I mean, when the guy comes
and they all do. Like,
when the guy comes limping to practice and there's media there, and they're like, "Why are you limping?" He's like, "Oh, I saved my 7-year-old nephew." I mean, like, how is the school not protecting him? Like, that's all him. That's on him.
They don't have position meetings or film sessions before they go to practice. If you send your kids out on a weekend, like like school wasn't in session yet. School started yesterday or today maybe. I don't know. But so if they're on their last weekend of summer break or whatever it's called, you would think that they would at least sit down, and some of those coaches, somebody, even if it wasn't Sark, would sit down with everybody, kind of touch base and make sure that everybody came back cool from the weekend. I don't buy for a fucking second that the team, the coaches, somebody at the university didn't have a minute to sit down with Josh Shaw and go, yo, why is your ankle fucked up, before he talked to whoever he talked to.
Well, fair enough.
I just don't buy that. And if that was the case, then that's where they went wrong, and that's the fuck up, and that's the problem.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's what I got on that.
Oh, we are at the Down and Out, guys. If you've come after we've already started, there's $7 or $7. I don't know. All of a sudden, I got $7. There's $4 shots of Sino tequila. If you haven't had Sino, it's delicious.
Are you trying to rip me off? No.
Delicious stuff. And $6 shots of Jameson. Brandon Ozzy Osbourne would be happy to sling it your way. Speaking of which, you should probably get 3 shots over here, I would imagine, of Sino. Yeah. We'll take 3 shots of Sino, por favor.
Please.
That's por favor in Espanol.
I speak American.
It's a bilingual show, folks.
Let's move on. We got let's talk NFL.
Adios, pelota.
Let's talk about the NFL for a little bit and how ridiculous the NFL is. Pete Carroll, as much of a non-fan of him as I am, got a 300. All it says, there was never a number that exact number. All it said was, jeez. All it says is that
Fight on.
it was over $300,000 fine for this ridiculous rule. Non-contact practice. You're not allowed to touch anybody in practice anymore in the NFL.
This was in June, correct? It was supposed to be a non-contact practice in June, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And they fined him over $300,000 for it. It's I didn't think there was anything in there. Thank you, Ozzy.
Thanks, man.
Boom. Oh, he's got you. Here you go, Josh. Mike.
What? Who's Josh?
I called you Josh.
Hey, 1 second.
I had Josh Shaw on mine. Sorry, Gonger.
We're drinking. Here's to you. Thanks, Judy.
Salute. Thanks, Judy. Here's to Judy and Sino.
Cheers, dudes.
Hoo-yah. But yeah, like the NFL, and on top of that, Josh Gordon gets his year-long suspension upheld today for smoking weed, and it's just the NFL just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't. I think their priorities are all ass backwards, and they're kind of going through, everything they do is on paranoia these days. It's the non-contact practice. I mean, that's they're being sued. Obviously, all these lawsuits with for the concussions in the past and not taking care of them. So now I'm stealing Fidel Goodell from Steve Watson over there. It's a Fidel Goodell decides that he's gonna come down on all these rules, all these ridiculous rules that just make no sense. Weed is not a performance-enhancing drug, for God's sakes, and you're gonna suspend a guy for an entire year for that. But when and I was thinking about this the other day, PEDs come into play.
He was thinking.
Shut it. PEDs come into play, and PEDs in the NFL don't even get a full year suspension. Performance-enhancing drugs do not get a full year suspension, but marijuana use does. It's incredible. Yeah, and you can punch your wife and you only get 2 games.
Did he have seeds?
I don't know. Do you have anything on this? It's kind of incredible to me that $300,000 for having contact in the NFL practice, the National Football League, where guys brutalize each other on a daily basis. You can't touch each other in practice in an inappropriate manner.
So do you want me to start with with Gordon or with Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll. Let's do that.
Okay, so here's my thing with Pete Carroll. I love the guy, so you gotta know that going in. Like
I do know that.
I would love nothing more than to be, his godson.
His sex toy.
Yeah.
For a day.
Well, whatever. I dig the guy. I dig how he coaches. I think the guy's the man. He's been. Why do I have a hat on my head?
Hell.
Oh, that's okay. I can live with that.
Oh, jeez. That's terrible.
So
And you call yourself a Raider fan?
My friend Ozzy just put a Seahawks hat on my head, and I'm okay with that as long as it's not as long as it's not a Dodger hat or something. I think
You just ruined my headphones too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a Niner fan. You're probably
We're gonna burn those
Tainted.
headphones later on.
Yeah.
you're probably pissed about that, huh?
That doesn't bother me too much.
No, but so all right, Pete Carroll and Spike and his no contact practice. Pete Carroll, since coaching at USC in 2003 and 2004, he threw around like he would go out and quarterback like the 7-on-7.
Yeah, absolutely.
drills. And he'd run in the field and get everybody fired up and jacked up and run around, and everybody would hit real good. And those practices were super high energy and super just, really intense practices.
Yep.
And that's how he worked, and I think he kind of took some of that with him to Seattle. And, obviously nobody really knows what happened, but I could totally see it being one of those situations where, like, probably a rule was broken, but, like, nothing malicious happened. You know what I mean? Like, nothing particularly terrible happened. Like, I think it was just one of those things where maybe they got a little too fired up. And, like, when I think about that, I think back to 2007 and the Spygate situation with Bill Belichick when he was doing some illegal shit. They fined the Patriots $500,000 for this.
Yes, I know. And then burned the tape so they'd never have the evidence that they actually did it.
Fair enough.
Incredible.
So that happened. So they fined him $500,000 for literally spying on people before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll's going to go get his team a little too jacked up and maybe
And get $300,000.
hit a little too hard and get $300,000 for some sort of violation that probably makes no sense.
The most amazing thing to
anyway?
me is Goodell stands solidly behind the fact that he believes that that they are consistent and fair with all of their penalties that are ever handed down. Yet, that's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life.
I mean,
it's exactly what you just said. You just brought up the Spygate thing, and they get that, and then and Belichick doesn't get suspended, and then the Saints, the bounty gate is what they called it. We lose our coach for an entire year because the rest of the league can't take a hit.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
No, and I mean, like, look, I get it, and that's part of the reason why, like, I've really lost interest in football. Like, I've really
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You've just never had the interest in football.
That's not true. I had season tickets to the Raiders like 2007, 2008.
Well,
you really have to be interested in football to go do that shit. Like, you really do. Like, trust me, it was like the Lane Kiffin era. You had to be interested. There was no other physical way it would happen. And like, I mean, that's my point. And I think there's a bigger problem here that kind of like equates to society at large. And it goes back to your point of Roger Goodell saying that their penalties have been, fair and consistent. And like, to be honest with you, I think according to their bylaws and according to the for lack of a better term, Constitution rule book that they live by, I think they probably have been fair and consistent. My thing is
not fair.
There's
definitely not fair.
I mean,
how do you when it comes to coaches, how do you slap a coach on the wrist for cheating in 3 fucking Super Bowls that they've won for filming your opponent, and after you slap him on the wrist, you literally dispose of the evidence so that no one can ever see exactly what happened or what went down, and then whenever it comes to a different team like the Saints during Bounty Gate, he crippled us. He crippled us the year that he took Sean Payton away.
Look, man, for once I actually agree strongly with your point, but that's not really what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is, if the NFL has like a rule book or a constitution that they deem as laws, whether those laws are incorrect or not, punishments are fair or just or what have you, they, to the letter of the law, do a good job of protecting their league. And my thing is this, and where I think this is a bigger societal issue, and again, what I was trying to get at is where I've kind of lost a little interest, is there is a societal issue with businesses popping up and many, like the NFL is a prime example, where everything they do is kind of like a cover your ass mindset. And I think that people have kind of forgotten how to judge a case-by-case situation, use critical thinking, and then make a right decision for whatever problem you're trying to solve, whatever issue is at hand. A prime example of this in baseball is the catcher rule and blocking the plate.
The Buster Posey rule.
No one knows how to
no one to blame but Buster.
If you really look at that, no one knows how to.
No one knows what to do.
read that rule. No one knows how to play within the rule.
The catcher doesn't know how to play it.
The runner doesn't. The umpires don't know how to call it.
I know.
The managers don't know how to argue it. And that's kind of what's the lack of critical thinking and how to solve that problem that's being exhibited is the same thing that's being exhibited here with the NFL. Giving BS fines in horseshit situations, upholding dumb suspensions while you got people beating their wife. You know what I mean? Just shit like that. Like it's just rampant everywhere. It's rampant in the fact that like it's really easy to own a new business nowadays, and because of that, everybody wants to cover their ass. So business owners are, instead of like being in line with the customer and providing quality service, they're doing, most of them at least, are doing the minimum amount that they can to get by and get more business because they have to protect themselves. And it's just, it's a problem that I see in the United States that needs to go away. And I mean, maybe this is too in-depth conversation for this place, but I actually agree with you that these these decisions that have come down in the NFL are bullshit and unfair. But when it comes down to like protecting the letter of the law, that's what's going on, and that's the NFL and in America.
I actually used to talk about Roger Goodell as being the best commissioner in sports. I honestly believed that. I thought he did a lot for the game of football since after he took over. I just can't do that anymore. Like as the year after year, he makes the worst decisions as far for players in the league. A lot of which just don't make or head scratchers. Just don't make any sense. Yes, I know that there's a book of rules. I get it, and it's up to him to and his committee to enforce them. But it's also he's the commissioner of football. He has the power to make a decision regardless of what it says in black and white in a fucking book.
Yeah,
it's
called critical thinking.
It's called critical thinking. He can use his best judgment on the fact that he knows that a dude who smokes weed doesn't deserve an entire year suspension, and a dude that beats the shit out of his wife and drags her out of a fucking elevator passed out by her hair deserves more than 2 games. I mean, you can't. I mean, I don't care who you are or what sport you are a fan of. You know that deserves a stiffer penalty. That's the fact that he even defends the NFL and himself in their decision to hand these random fines down, saying that they're fair is mind-boggling to me. It's a head scratcher, and I can't defend the fucker anymore. Mike, you got anything?
I just think that this day and age, what we're watching from the NFL is just an entire. It's almost like what payola was in the 1920s as far as radio. It seems.
Yeah.
Like there's just a high level of corruption.
That's a fucking really good analogy.
It seems apparent. It seems that the NFL is at the point where they're unapologetic about it anymore. They're not even trying to cover it up. It's like they just have this solid, driven agenda that they are going to approach, and nothing is going to deter them from it. And it's kind of scary, but it's just from the way that America's kind of operating, you see that there's like a similar kind of median that's going on within Congress and how they want to uphold something, but NFL is now kind of reversing it and going this opposite way and really trying to put it to what their agenda is, which is more of an offensive league. And within that, though, they're obviously trying to stiffen up the penalties for drugs, though, which is ridiculous in my mind. Especially what you were driving at too earlier, Nate, was it's not a performance-enhancing drug.
And PEDs, they don't get full year. They
Exactly.
they don't get a full year if you get busted using performance-enhancing drugs. A drug to enhance your performance on the field does not get a full year suspension.
And to have someone like Pete Carroll, I'm not going to back up Pete Carroll on many things, but Pete Carroll did come out this last offseason and say something that I thought that was extremely pertinent just towards athletes. If you look at it just as far as like the athletic kind of mindset, though, and he was quoted as saying, if there's something that we can do to help athletes progress and recover from certain things that are kind of like natural and holistic, he's like, I think we should experiment and look more into it. And I completely back him up.
Yeah.
If there's some way that an athlete can miss 2 weeks rather than 4 weeks and not have anything detrimental in their systems, like as far as putting like painkillers in them, then why not? Why are we punishing them when essentially they're going to be coming back and providing more capital for you as a business? So it just makes no sense. It seems like it's counterproductive, though.
Steve
Watson,
Watson,
what do you
ladies and
got?
gentlemen.
Chomping at the bit here.
He is. He's literally pitching a fit in front of us.
This is going to be good. Let me buckle up.
I know this is a hungry time, guys.
Strap in real quick. Your mic's not on.
Yeah.
You're
You can
plugged
yell
in.
at me. It's okay.
That's Mike.
Here we go.
Jesus.
All right, great. Goddamn, it's loud. If you give me something that says, hey, you can do your job better,
Yeah.
take this. Your job's going to be better. You're going to be better at it.
Yep.
You're going to recover from whatever. Then I would give that to every single person that works for me, with me, all
I
my
can't
friends.
disagree with you. Yeah.
Amen.
Every single person. Like,
Amen.
here, take this stuff to make
'Cause
you better at what you do.
It'll make you heal from that injury faster.
It's going to make everything better.
Yeah.
That's called critical thinking. America doesn't have that anymore. It went out of
true.
style with common
Right.
sense.
We lost
Take
that
it.
in the late
That's pretty
90s.
good, Joe.
So
Well done.
Every now and then he drops some pearls. Every now and then, Hot Wheels drops some pearls, and we're like, oh, man, look at that.
You get a round of
Shit.
Shit. But no, I see no problem with people going, hey, so take this stuff. It'll make you better at what you do, and go do it better
I agree with you. No,
than you did yesterday.
Viva.
I can't disagree. Like that's it.
Did you say FIFA? Yeah.
Viva. Reroll
I have no
all
problem with
burgers.
that.
But that's what gets back to the smoking weed.
But smoking weed
If you're smoking weed,
ain't going to make you better.
all it's going to make you want to do is eat donuts and be lazy on the field. And so apparently that's very offensive to Roger Goodell.
Okay, first of all,
So he's-
Fidel Goodell
Yeah.
is a dickhead.
Yeah.
And his priorities are all fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I think weed should be legal everywhere in all the NFL. Just let them all smoke weed.
We've talked about this in previous shows that
Yeah.
if he legalized weed in the NFL
They just
and all
went
these
slow.
all these dudes that went home and beat their wives and shot their friends, they probably wouldn't do that as much because they're
Yeah.
fucking high.
You're not
And
going to
so-
beat your wife. You know what?
Alden Smith would not beat his neighbor over with a bottle.
Okay, here's the thing.
Because he was stoned. You know?
I
There's
know
no way he's going to do that.
I no longer smoke weed, but I used to.
Yeah, me too.
And when I did, I never got into a fight.
Yeah.
I never slapped my girlfriend.
I got pissed off when a friend of mine would dump the bong water out, but I'd be like, God
I-
damn it, man.
The most violent thing I ever did. The most violent thing I ever did when I was smoking weed was I took a fucking Subway sandwich from my roommate and just ate it up.
I
And
would've
went,
been pissed.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Give me your Doritos.
And he was on PEDs and you were smoking weed.
Yeah,
and he
he's
beat
all
the shit out of you.
PED'd. Yeah, he's all jacked up. And I was like, okay, so I should play football. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Let him smoke
Let him
weed.
smoke weed. Denver. Oh, yeah.
Weed Bowl last year.
We talked about it.
Okay.
Absolutely. The Weed Bowl.
So,
Weed bowl, bro.
So Denver's a state?
Apparently.
So I find it like amusing that you have a
Does the rest of Colorado matter?
of a league who says you can't smoke weed, but you can punch your wife in the elevator.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
It makes total sense.
Don't worry, Ray.
Read the NFL bylaws. It makes total sense.
Of course it does. And Ray Rice, hey, he came forward with his now wife, and she was in support with him, and he apologized and said he was seeking help. So, I mean,
Okay.
that's fine.
So it is no secret to this podcast that I am a University of Tennessee
Oh, Jesus Christ.
guy.
Do they start playing
Where do
on
they?
Saturday?
Dante Stallworth,
Sacramento.
Leonard Little,
I can talk to you about that.
both killed people while they were drinking and driving.
Yep.
And played the very next season.
Dante Stallworth went to Grant High School. Fun little Northern California tidbit.
So,
whatever.
just saying, whatever, Fidel Goodell, get your shit together, buddy.
Fidel
Well,
Goodell.
I want to.
But Ray Rice sells a lot of fucking
He
jerseys.
does, man, and he's real sorry that he
sorry.
knocked his wife out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to punch you in the face right now. And I'm going to be so sorry about it when I'm done.
Oh, Roger, I'm sorry, man. Just slap me on the wrist, would you? Okay, hey,
Come on, Nate. Just let
Bad
me punch
Ray.
you in the face one time.
bad
I'm like,
Ray.
Oh, man.
Ray.
Hey, Mike's got a grin on his face.
I'm going to go punch
Can we-
fucking Hot Wheels in the face right now.
Can we
He's
talk
like,
about
and I'm just going to apologize. Go, I'm sorry about that.
What do
I'm
you-
sorry about that. Can I
What
go
do you-
back in the bar? Of course you can.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think about the AL
There you
West,
go.
Mike?
You know what? Hey, Nate, pick better friends, buddy.
I don't know.
Pick better friends.
Fucking Steve.
Watson out. Done.
I think the AL West is open this year.
Are you worried about Seattle at all?
Not anymore. No, it's getting too late down the stretch. I think
They're still vying for
This
that
is
second
Oakland
wildcard.
A's fan Mike Gong, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Seattle is still vying for the second
You're
wildcard.
saying-
They
yeah, so
very well
shot.
could be in there. You guys
I
could.
don't want to count them out. I mean, as far as taking the division, I think that's pretty much sealed between two teams right now.
That I agree with.
Even with that rotation, though?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I don't see them having the firepower to come back.
Pitching and defense
I don't.
wins
I don't.
championships.
I think
That's all I
the
know.
Angels bullpen has been just miraculous like the last 2 months. I don't see them holding up within
Their bullpen hasn't been miraculous all year long, but their starting rotation
they've
actually
been-
picked
for
up
what-
after April.
For what they've done in like the last 2 months, though, they have completely turned around because I did not expect them to be there. Just having Houston Street there.
Houston
they
Street's
look-
been solid.
they
He's
look-
only-
Street's been
they-
solid.
He's only given up one run the whole time he's been in
he's
LA,
completely
right?
revamped their bullpen. Those guys look like a bunch of bulldogs now, having him just anchor it.
Yeah.
I just, starting pitching, you thought I was laughing the other week, but I honestly think that we have the division pretty much sealed now, though.
Wow.
The Richards loss was huge.
That's a far cry
That's
from last week.
Bold statement, my friend.
We've made some different turns, though. I think just switching up our rotation, especially going into this next series, which is 4 games and the biggest series by far this year. I think just that little mix-up, though, having Bowmel kind of just, stir the pot a little bit has really been a good thing for us. You've seen the offense just pick it up a little bit, and it's small signs right now, but there's a month of baseball left, though.
There is. It's a big month.
You got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Dodgers 5 up on the Giants.
The other thing,
Beautiful thing.
Sure, it's a beautiful thing. I'll give you that.
Beautiful thing.
The other thing that needs to be discussed right now is the fact that the American League is just heads above the National League.
I wouldn't say heads, but they are. Jesus. They, unfortunately, because I am an all-National League dude, and I'm pretty sure you are as well.
Yeah, I really like the National League. I
Yeah,
like the A's. I'm not allowed to like the A's, Mike tells me, but I like the A's.
But yes, the American League, as far as the talent and the all-around talent, as far as the amount of teams they have that are relevant, is a better. Yeah, it's a better league this year. I still think the winner, whoever takes the pin in the National League wins the World Series this year. I'm sticking to it, and I'm still saying it's going to be a repeat of 1988. So it's. I think it's A's Giants. A's Dodgers. That was called a Freudian slip. Yeah. It's going to be A's Dodgers, and Yeah, I think it goes. I'll say it goes 7 games. We're not going to beat you in 6. I think we'll beat you in 7.
I like your energy and your fandom. It's appreciated. That's not going to happen, though.
Well, okay.
Not with our rotation this year.
Whose rotation?
Our rotation.
Our rotation?
Did I hiccup? Did I sneeze and all that? I said our rotation. I said the Oakland Athletics rotation. I like your 1 and 2 pitchers.
Yeah, well, no, Ryu's coming back.
1.5.
All we need is 3 pitchers.
Is Herring going to be there?
Huh?
All you need is 3. All you need is 3.
All we need is 3.
That's not true.
All we need is 3.
Really?
All we need is Kershaw. Kershaw can pitch on short rest. So can Greinke. Ryu doesn't have to. So.
Isn't Greinke's arm screwing up? He said he wasn't going to be 100% the rest of the year.
No, he's going to be fine.
He said that. Hold on real quick.
He also said that he suffers from whatever his mental problems, which is amazing because he's the best, one of the best pitchers in baseball.
So you're going to pitch a guy with mental problems on short rest?
You bet your ass. You bet your ass.
L.A. motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
I'll take us in 5.
I can't wait till it happens so then I can take all your money, Mike.
Can I put that bet down too?
What, that Greinke doesn't pitch on short rest?
No, the A's over the Dodgers in the World Series.
Sure, if you want to. If you really want to lose more money. More.
Speaking of, what do you think? It's fantasy football week. You want to give a little insight into your fantasy football? What are you doing before we get out of here?
We're deciding our draft order today. It's going to be fun. 14 shots lined up. Everyone's taking their shot, slam their glass down. The number on the back is their draft order pick.
Shots of Sino, right?
It will be shots of Sino tequila.
Yes.
And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The Down and Out League the draft is on Friday.
Who's your sleeper?
I ain't telling you that.
Why?
I got people here that are in the league.
Give it to the people.
No, because if I say it, they're gonna be like, yeah, that guy's gonna be good. Especially this guy, Steve Watson. That guy, he's right. That guy's gonna be good.
I'm not paying attention.
I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention to what's going on.
I don't listen to this fucking show.
What are you talking about?
Why would
I don't listen to this bullshit.
I don't know what's going on here.
Why would anybody listen to you for fantasy sports advice anyways?
I got to come listen to fucking
I'm always
Nate
relevant.
talk 7 days a week at this goddamn bar.
You've got to come listen to me talk?
I have to.
Think, turn it around. I have to listen to your ass talk.
Good. I get to pay you, though.
I can't leave. You can.
I ain't getting paid for this.
And on that note, SuperiorFandom.com. We'll see you guys.
SuperiorFandom.com.
Thanks everybody.